while the selling point of me telling you, hey, we're not limited to APIs is great, it's also a gargantuan task to do, because when you have 4,000 people that all want to use different websites and different flows, it's hard to manage. Hey, everybody, Jeremy Redmond here from TaskMagic, founder TaskMagic. We're coming here with a really cool update. A big part of what we do here is share everything we do in semi-private and public, because I want to build this company in public. I want to build it with you guys, the first customers, the first subs. We're almost to 4,000 subs. And we've been doing this a year and a half, right? Up from like almost nothing, like hundreds in revenue, hundreds of dollars, to hundreds of thousands, to over $1 million last year in total, right? And it's because of you. And today, we really show you a raw investor interview. We cut out some of the crap in it, but it's a real interview that I had. Hustle Fund, they're a decently well-known pre-seed, seed stage investor where they invest small checks. And you can see here on their website that it's a pretty cool thing to even get an interview, right? Because we got an interview with them, and they asked us to schedule a time. I thought this was great. So it is. First off, congratulations on an interview. At the time of writing, we only interview 10% of companies. We're in the 90th percentile, and it's because of every one of our customers. And again, this isn't guaranteeing a check. This isn't getting a check from them. This is just, you are in the top 90th percentile just getting an interview. That's how rare this is, okay? So not only did we get an interview, did they actually request one with us? I got this email from unnamed. We're going to blank the names out. Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. 4 of our venture fellows who are active angel investors have also requested to join. I typically limit them to 1 to 2, but there is a lot of interest in what you're building. Yeah, because we have over 4,000 customers. Again, thank you to everyone. Let me know if add any or all. And they added a bunch here. This is amazing, right? If only 1 or 2, like we've got to be in the top 95 percentile, but I don't know. So here's the interview that we actually had. Again, a lot of interest. We get a lot of these people who are interested constantly, right? We get inbound emails like this, and we're not really raising a price round right now. Everyone in here will let you know when we do. But if you like this video, follow, subscribe, hit the like button. The algorithm likes that. And comment and say hi. And let me know how you think I did in the interview. Because it's a real interview. It's a real back and forth with these 5-6 people that were on it. So let me know. I look forward to chatting with you and seeing if we get a check. Who knows? We released like a video, like a big part of our customer like acquisition strategy is content marketing. So we released this YouTube video, and we did like always like talk to your customers until they love you.
I was just watching it. Yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah. And we did a build session series, and our calendars have been like back to back to back to back with like customers just like either wanting to say hi or what they like or what they hated. So it's always good to make improvements, but that's kind of how we got behind.
Yeah, I'm really curious to learn more about your customers and some of the common use cases and all that, but we can get into that. Maybe we do really quick intros, tell you about our process. That's helpful. Would love to just learn more about you and how you got into building TaskMagic a few years ago. And then happy to do questions that works.
Absolutely. Guys want to do a little background first? Or you want me to
go first? We can do a quick background.
Okay.
Really Hustle Fund. We're early stage, B2B SaaS, digital consumer health, fintech, Web3. We can write a $50,000 check within a week of a call. And then we like to work with teams, typically on their fundraise, but happy to help in other ways. We have a lot of companies that are in like prosumer space that may be helpful to chat with. So happy to talk about that. And then if and as things go well, happy to write a follow-on, typically 100 to 500K. That's when we bring in our angel squad community, which we all are coming in from.
I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Again, my name's Jeremy. I grew up with nothing in the Midwest, trailer park kid. So we didn't really have much growing up. I always felt this like disassociation with technology. My mom, single mom, and growing up, it was like I remember distinctly joining the Boy Scouts because I heard that they had a popcorn competition, and the grand prize was like a $200 gift certificate to like Toys R Us or something. So I joined the Boy Scouts, got initiated, kicked the pants off of everyone in the state of Michigan, and then quit Boy Scouts. So I don't think I've ever not had that hustle factor from me. So first person in my entire family to go to college. Still took me 6 years to graduate with a 4-year degree. But that is probably a longer story for a different day. And I was always kind of lost. I got fired from like almost every job I've ever had because deep down I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I've always had the problems that like, that entrepreneurial dilemma where you just kind of struggle with authority and you always want to build. And I worked for a large consulting firm, one of the big four accounting firms. And there you're kind of just a number or a cog in a wheel. I found out there that I'm very motivated by the big picture. And I have to kind of have my hands in everything. That's kind of been a struggle to like learn delegation and do some things like that with our small and growing team. But after I left there, I worked for my first venture-backed startup here in Santa Monica. We're in West Hollywood, but in Santa Monica. That was my first foray into like venture-backed ecosystem. And their first like pre-seed round was great. And it was only like 800 grand. I'll never forget the first week I was hired as an ops director or director of operations. I remember I organized the pay structure for 3,000 contractors across the country in my first week. And when the founders at the time approved it, I was there 4 days. And I had like adjusted the pay structure for thousands of people across the country. And I'll never forget that juxtaposition or that contrast between working at large consulting firms and making that impact. So that was kind of the first step there. And maybe 4, 5, 6 months later, that went out of business. So welcome to startup land. And I kind of founded my own thing. It first started with like a digital business card exchange. Pivoted that company probably 12 different times. Eventually, I got a friend of mine, who said, "Hey, I'll buy that first version of the company, Air 5." And it was like, okay, so I automated this entire process to get him like a version of it, connect him with a developer, and sold it to him for $5,000. And we had 14 of those pivots, all with different code bases. So I automated this entire flow, built it, sold it. I go, if multiple people have this problem, I can probably sell this again. And then over and over and over again, we monetize that to about probably 300 or 400 grand. That was my first real, not venture backed, but building my own company. And that pivoted into an app builder called V1. And once we did that, we kind of found out we got that to about maybe $1 million overall in about 18 months. And once we were done with that, we had heard from customers of that app builder that they wanted to do automations and integrations. And that was kind of like my background, my formal background. So we kept going back and forth, very service-like. What do you want to build? And we were going to build it in Zapier and Make and some of these other tools and kind of just like white label them without white labeling it. And the more we kept getting like Loom videos, started off very much like this. Oh, I want to click here and then, okay, I need to download this report and I need to go there and then I need to open this tab and then go there. And then I copy paste this paragraph. And you're like, there's got to be a way that they can just take these videos and make that the automation. So that is what we've been building for the last 2 years, give or take, really focused on that. And we went through Jason Calacanis' launch accelerator a few years back, raised little bits of money here and there, and it was probably like $1 million. And then we got profitable. And now we are here building automations for people. And last year we hit $1.1 million in the year. So that was kind of like a big thing. So that's a little bit about me and then a background into the business.
Oh yeah, thank you for sharing your journey and how far you've come with TaskMagic through all these pivots on the product, and really appreciate just the vulnerability. It's really awesome just to get to know you better, Jeremy.
Yeah.
You talk a lot about app building, so like
Yeah.
how much custom work is involved in getting each customer set up?
So none now.
Okay.
So we launched this automated product, and I can share my screen if you'd like. There is zero hands-on work. They can onboard themselves now. We don't have a freemium version.
Yeah.
The only way someone gets it for free is one person on their team buys it and then invites them, and they have unlimited use in that shared workspace.
Oh, interesting. So that I didn't go deep on the pricing, but the one-time model, is it across all tiers that people can invite multiple
So
teams?
no, just the $1,000 tier,
Okay.
people can invite multiple people. And that also comes with 12 hours of cloud runtime per month.
Could you talk more about like target users and how much your ideal customer is using the product?
Yeah. So originally, our target customer was squarely like SMBs. So, like small, medium sized businesses. And I would just, from what I know, I went and knocked on doors and said, we can automate anything, right? So, we can automate any clicks, types, copy pasting. So, I went to small businesses and said, what's keeping you up at night? Like, it's incredible how much time you can get with someone if you just say, like, tell me your stressors, and like I'll try to help to see if this thing I built done, and you don't have to pay me anything, fixes what you want. So we had a bunch of like inventory management systems that people were like, I just have to go from this data and ship this bag of bagels to someone else, but I have to print off the label and do these other things. And then we launched last summer on AppSumo. So there was a lot of agency model people, non-technical, again, like freelancers,
Mhm.
and but still SMBs. And what they did was just like shared it with their clients and things like that. So it kind of more from like still SMB, but a different kind of small business, where an agency would use this and then like buy more usage.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, with whenever I see like the sort of horizontal prosumer workflow tool, I think about Airtable and like what they've done to help people see
Yeah,
themselves in the
yeah.
product. Um, so yeah, I'm curious to learn more about the customer acquisition and how you think about helping people just imagine all these different use cases.
Yeah, that was the biggest challenge early on and that's why we did AppSumo, because we could get the reach. They would give us that distribution and we would learn their stories of the people who wanted to use it. They would broadcast the message to a million people. And what kind of happened is there were certain types of flows that they wanted, which is a very sales outreach type flow where you can automate like scraping of leads on websites, or things that where APIs get deprecated, where just recently Facebook deprecated their groups API,
Mm,
and things like Zapier or Make no longer work with it. But a human being can go in and use our tool, record their actions in groups, and send messages for later or follow up with them just like a human being would do. So for us, it was very sales outbound, like sales operations, things like that, where it started to morph into. And then outside of that, like the growth from that has been all customer referral. We implemented a 20% cut on sales to customers, and 80% of our customers have come through referrals thereafter.
oh wow.
So there's that piece. And then there's a piece where on the $1,000 plan, like I was telling you, you can invite unlimited people to one workspace.
Yeah.
So if that person that was invited wanted to create their own workspace, they needed to buy a plan.
Yep.
So that's kind of how we've been growing as well. I've always been a fan of product led growth. So we had to kind of build that friction point properly. And I think we've kind of done that.
Super fan. A lot of people try, few people achieve. So it's great to hear that you're at that.
You got to give them enough incentive,
Yeah.
right?
Tell us more about just going back to that ideal customer. I know it's evolved over time, but
Yeah.
how many workflows might they have active on TaskMagic? How many hours of runtime are you seeing per month?
Yeah, that was the great thing. So, and we didn't expect this. When we launched last summer, we had gotten maybe 1,000 customers. Those 1,000 customers had referred another 3,000 customers. So right now we have a little over 4,000 customers, but 13,000 users. So those 4,000 people have all invited 3 people. And we slowly get people buying from that cohort. But the thing that happened was those 4,000 people, or we'll say the 3,000 people that had bought, that invited other teammates on the $1,000 plan, because that's our most popular plan, they bought additional usage. So a third of those people bought additional usage at $500 to $1,000 within 3 months or 4 months. So they've been using it quite heavily. The average person has maybe 10 to 15 active flows. And once those people, and probably 3 or 4, maybe I think the average is like almost 4, so like 3.75 or something like that, on average people on their workspace. We haven't dove into the numbers around how many people of those people have bought yet, but it's just a deeper layer that I got to get into the data.
Got it. Yeah, really helpful. Do you have a sense? It sounds like a third are highly engaged, using it a ton. What are you seeing in terms of drop off of usage after purchase?
Yeah, that's the funny thing. So we have about 4,000 paying customers and 1,800 daily active users. So not monthly active users. We have about 3,200 monthly active users. So I'm not sure if like people just go, okay, that's cool. They scrape a website and then walk away and then we'll use it a few months later.
Yep.
This has only been in the ecosystem for 6 months-ish or so. So again, it's more raw data. But at the same time, those are kind of the numbers on usage. 1,800 daily active users and 3,200 monthly active users out of the 4,000 customers.
Wow. Okay, thank you. So why are you raising now, given that you don't want to be on the treadmill forever? What outcomes are you hoping for?
Yeah, so some of it is like growth in staff, and then raising a little bit now because we don't have the margin to put like 200 grand into a bonus structure for affiliates and customers. I'd like to experiment with that growth model. I don't currently have that kind of cash to just do that. We do need to hire a couple ops people, like maybe 1 or 2. We're good on the engineering side. I can probably make those hires without it, but I don't have the courage capital, I guess you could say, to make some of the experiments that I would like to do with our existing user base. And I've always wanted to go through the Hustle Fund program, by the way. Like, I have this hustle sign in the back.
Oh my God, can I take a picture of this? This is like
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I saw that on your YouTube video, so I watched almost everything, I think.
Oh my God. Wow, thank you.
Fund. When I watched your YouTube video, saw the hustle sign there, and I
Oh,
was
wow.
like, yeah.
Anyone have questions for Jeremy? Sorry to derail us.
I have a quick question. How are you thinking about growth from here?
Yeah, so that is the courage capital piece of it, is like we can continue to service customers and they will refer. We will get at least 2 or 3 brand new customers per day that we can't track, weirdly, and maybe 2 or 3 customers that were referrals from existing customers that we can track. So I would like to know if we put in like a bonus structure with those people, if that went from 3 to 6 or 3 to 13 or 3 to 30, really focus on it. We've put 0 effort into that referral piece. We've put 0 effort into the collaboration tools that we've built within it to have the existing paying customer invite more of their team and collaborate with their team. Like obviously we have like private shared, we have some collaboration tool like workspace tools, things like that, folders, sharing. We haven't really dove into those features or expressed or mentioned with those paying customers to invite people. I'd like to really press those 2 buttons in the coming months. And we know with what we have that like that's working and we're putting no effort toward it. I don't know what it would be if we put gas on the flame.
Gotcha. Are there any other, I guess, SMB verticals that you think could be opportunity for you guys?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of people that wanted to invite clients, and a lot of people that we don't really know how to set up like a portal for them to run their clients' flows outside of just on the TaskMagic front end. That would be like a larger feature to do for some of those people. But it would be great to have like official agencies be selling on our behalf as well. So that would be fun. But yeah, going into like enterprise, but we're trying to experiment with some of the things that would encourage growth, given the constrained resources we have at the moment.
I guess like thinking long term about the pricing model, you mentioned why you're structuring things this way, which makes a ton of sense. Congrats on being profitable. It's very rare that we get to talk to someone at this stage who's profitable. But are you open to changing it longer term, introducing freemium, like
Yeah. Like we have to do a freemium model. We've been building the freemium model. Browser automation is such a big task. It's not like, while the selling point of me telling you, hey, we're not limited to APIs is great. It's also a gargantuan task to do, because when you have 4,000 people that all want to use different websites and different flows, it's hard to manage. It's great because we can own that education layer, right? Like we are the best RPA tool, I think, in existence, consumer facing anyway. But the hard part is coming up with a freemium model where something clicks, we get people to the magic moment very fast. They see something. So I've been testing what's the one thing that people do with our tool, and it's data migration.
Yeah.
So like it's scraping something from one front end and going to a Google Sheet or doing something else. So another thing is like you can only do it from a certain number of sites. So we have to limit that number of sites. So we're doing 8 sites, scraping data or migrating data. And then we have to build a guided flow for those people.
Like
so we're doing that now. Yeah, correct. Yep.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Because freemium can actually be like terrible, as we've seen in so many cases. Bobby Pinero at Equals wrote a really great article that I think got picked up by Lenny about this. If you're thinking,
I would love if you'd send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Jeremy, it's so great to meet you. Thank you for taking the time. We'll be in touch by next week. I think everyone here would love to use the product if you're open to.
Okay. No, I'm open to it. Yeah, absolutely.
And anything you need from us, we'll follow up with that freemium article shortly and look forward to being in touch.
You guys have all been quite amazing. And just to watch your guys' faces and like as I talk about the product makes me feel good and definitely makes me feel encouraged. So I'm really glad that you guys decided to partake. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.